A lovely welcome to another edition of Women's Voice. Now, there are many misconceptions about Islam, especially for those who do not understand the religion. For women in this religion, veiled women are said to lack the same employment, education, and legal rights as their male peers. Women's Voice discusses the topic, Women Behind the Veil, with the aim to find out whether women from the Islamic world are repressed and powerless, and also to get to know who exactly the veiled woman is. With me to do this is Mrs. Ramat Wasim, a qualified accountant, an entrepreneur and managing director of Rami Consult, an accounting firm. She loves fashion and have turned it into a venture by running a clothing business called Intentions, and an advocate for women. And Mansura Osekwesi is with the Ahmadiyya Information Management Systems Ghana, AIMS for short, and Khadija Dankwa is a teacher and an assistant director too at the Ghana Education Service. Great to have you all. Let me start with you, Ramat, because you are not new to this set. Who in particular is the woman behind the veil?
Assalamu alaikum to you. And
Alaikum
let me say
salam.
assalamu alaikum to our viewers out there, and to wish the Black Stars the very best in the football match. The woman behind the veil, for me, she's the girl next door. She's not so different. She's an honorable, very respected woman who is enshrined in moral decency. She chooses to be behind the veil not because of just fashion, but because it's part of her faith. It's like an obligation on her. It's part of her religious duties to be behind the veil. So it's a choice to be. And she's also an embodiment of certain great virtues: decency, moral decency, self-sacrifice, courage, and so many other things that we'll be getting into as we go along.
Great. Mansura. That woman in totality, who is that person?
I think Auntie Rahmat has said it all. The woman behind the veil is a very respected woman. She's the woman that you know won't lie to you. She's the woman that you can trust, and she has all the good qualities. So,
Good qualities like what and what?
well, the woman behind the veil is that woman training the child, bringing him up. All the presidents we can see, all of that. It's actually the woman that is doing that. So the woman behind the veil is just like any other woman, just that she's covered in the veil with good qualities.
My teacher friend. Give me your take.
Yeah, just as you have said, the woman behind the veil is very honorable, very respected, enshrined in moral decency. And even these days, most wedded ladies, when they are getting wedded, they mimic their dressing. So the people who are getting married, they wear long dresses with the veil, and they are mimicking what they wear. So it's something that people even fancy. I get in it. So she's respected, she's honorable, and wearing the veil is a tenet of her religion. She's supposed to do that.
What does the veil signify?
Okay. As you know, humans, for me, the veil is a shield. It's a covering. It places value on you. These are my personal thoughts. I'm not quoting anything directly from any scripture. There are scriptures to support it. In fact, our dressing, the mode of dressing for a Muslim woman or the woman behind it is clearly stated in the Holy Quran. How you should dress, the various types of how a woman should be covered is clearly written there. But for me, it's a shield. Rebecca, everything that is dear on earth, you don't just get it. You work hard for gold. You dig deep for diamonds. You kill for oil. People die on oil rigs just to get mine petroleum or whatever. So covering yourself and putting yourself behind the veil sort of put that value out there, that you're not just anything for people to see. If you want to see me, you have to suffer a little. So it's a shield, it's a protection. And through this, that dignity of that womanhood is protected. Sometimes I board taxis and I watch girls and I start laughing. It's not by force. You see them wearing something very short. It's nice, it's fine, fashionably, as they will say, it's nice in quotes for the worldly world that we live in. But the person gets down and the person is trying to pull the dress here and there. Who is forcing you? But you can just wear something decent, cover yourself, and move away, and there will be no problem. So it's a shield. It's a protection for your own self. And I do get credits a lot. Sometimes I want to pass or go somewhere. You get this hello Hajja, oh come and pass thing. It's fun sometimes. So personally, from my personal view, it's a shield. It's a protection, and it gives you respect.
Khadija.
Yes. Just as she said, it's a shield for you. It protects you. It makes you look decent. When you are in the veil, you are even really respected. That's what I want to say.
Would you want to add something, Manzura?
Well, the advantage of becoming a Muslim woman, or the advantage of being a
the
Muslim,
significance of the veil.
the significance of the veil.
Why do we even have to put on the veil at all? What does it signify? How important is it?
Well, the veil is very important because, as Sister Rahmat said, it is part of your religion, so you have to do it. And doing it, it doesn't cause any harm to you, but rather, as they all said, it's a shield. It protects you. So it's very significant. What would be associated with a lady without a veil, like when we are both working and these scrupulous boys, unscrupulous boys are by, they'll just call her and then would ignore me because they know that even if you call me, I'm not going to come, or I'll just ignore you. So it gives me more value. Yes.
Is that not to suggest discrimination?
Not at all. Not at all.
Unanimous, not at all.
Not at all.
Explain further.
Discrimination in what sense?
Good discrimination or bad discrimination?
Unique.
From what you have just said.
Unique, maybe. Because out of the crowd, you can tell who is standing there. It's very easy to tell the difference. For me, I see it as uniqueness. I don't see it as
Being discriminated upon.
No.
Okay, but would you have to become a Muslim woman by choice or by birth? Which is which?
It's by choice.
It's by choice.
Some people are born into it to become a Muslim, but it's by choice if you want to stay in it. Some people grow, they decide to change. Others too are Christians, they change and they become Muslims by choice. In the Quran, it said that there's no compulsion in religion.
Yeah.
There's no compulsion. Nobody can force anybody to do what he doesn't want to do. So it is by choice. By choice.
Do you second to that?
Yes, it said that la ikraha fi din, that there's no compulsion in the religion. So, though personally I was born into it, can you believe my parents were never born Muslims? They were Christians, and they became Muslims. And I'm a second generation Muslim. My kids are Muslims. I have some siblings who are no longer Muslim. It's a choice. Just as you can get up one day and feel in your heart that you confess your sins, you accept Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, become a Christian. When you say the Kalamatu Shahada, the oneness of Allah, you believing that the holy prophet of Islam, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is his prophet and his messenger, you become a Muslim and you follow the tenets of Islam. It's by choice. There's no compulsion in religion.
But are there any merits or demerits becoming a Muslim woman?
Yes.
Yes, there are.
There are. Just as in everything, there are pros and there are cons in it. It's the same everywhere.
Share with us.
For instance, the perception that people have about Muslims in general, not just Muslim women, but Muslims in general, tends to affect you in the socioeconomic world. And also the way that you do something, like, as I said earlier, the way that people, the perception of people towards Muslims in general. So if you do, for instance, if you are in a bank, and I'll use my cinema example. I was telling a friend the other time, I went to the cinema and I had this long coat on and my handbag. I was the only person in a long queue that they checked my bag, because I don't know if they thought I had a bomb or something on
Boko
me.
Haram.
Yeah, Boko Haram or something. So the perception that people have it tends to be a disadvantage for us.
But how about the advantage?
Well, we talked about
Well,
that earlier
yeah.
on. You see me, and it protects us. It protects, especially with the young girls. It's very hard to hear that a Muslim lady was raped, especially a Muslim lady garbed the way that she's supposed to. It's very hard to hear that.
Doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
It happens.
It happens and they don't
Yes.
report it because
It hardly happens. It
hardly.
can happen.
Yes,
But it's hardly
very
something
rare.
that is rare.
very, very rare.
And on the subject of the disadvantage or advantage, for me in religion there's not like advantage or disadvantage. It's people's perception. There's so-called Islamophobia that has been created by both some Muslim extremists themselves and people outside the Islamic religion who are always doing, it's as if they feed on negative information, as if there's nothing good happening in the Islamic world. A young Muslim girl got the Nobel Peace Prize this year.
Yeah.
Last year, did you know that? That Indian, what is it, Mahar?
Mahar.
She's what, I think she's the youngest person to get a Nobel award, and it's not even out there. But let a fly drop something, you hear of that one. So that is what is making it look as if it's a disadvantage to be behind a veil. No, it is not. It's people's perception, and unfortunately some extremists among it who are only a minority. We have about 1.something billion Muslims in the world, and if all of us are to be bad, I think the bombs would have been more than what we are seeing now.
It's true, because somebody sees you and asks you, why is a beautiful lady like you a Muslim?
Yes.
I get in it. So it's like the perception that they have that if you are a Muslim, you should look like this. You should be, maybe you should not be educated. You should not. I get in it, but it shouldn't be so. There are lots of advantages being a Muslim.
Great. But aside these things that you are faced with, what other challenges do Muslim women, even in general, face? Not just you, but Muslim women in general. What are some of the challenges they are faced with? Let's say society, marriage, or other circles.
Okay. Challenges facing women. Let me start with women in general. Women in general, and especially in our part of the world, we do have our own fight for us to be seen out there. I don't want to use the word equality because it sounded almost archaic now. That is the general one. We problem at workplace, going on maternity leave, coming back, promotion. That is there. But the other challenge that I think some Muslim women face is when certain groups or certain parents, individuals, decide not to educate them or not to send them to school. At first, it was based on a certain decision that was relevant then, because during the olden days when education started in our part of the country, you have to be a Christian to be educated. You need to convert before the missionaries will allow you to attend the missionary schools. So they started withdrawing their children, especially the girl child. And this thing is lingering on. But people should wake out of it. I mean, we have Muslim schools that they can send their children to. They can homeschool them if they choose to.
And even now, it's not as...
It's not like that. We have public schools that they even allow... I see girls who attend Accra Girls or so.
They still put on
they wear their hijab and all that. So that fear is no longer there. So I think that is where I have a problem within our community, that they don't allow the girls to go to school and actually further their education.
To add to what she just said, some customs are seeping into the religion. For instance, FGM. FGM is not Islamic. Islam has never said it anywhere that you should do that. But it's seeping into our religion. It's not Islam. I state this, that it is not Islam to do that. It's a barbaric thing that, and Islam is against such extremism.
But why do they continue to do it?
It's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural
practice that's
that has fused into the religion.
Yes, it's not part of it
And
at all.
because there are some tribes who are non-Muslims and they practice
they
it.
do
practice,
that.
yes, they
I
still
had,
practice
I
it.
had
But
a
the
friend.
majority of it is
It's cultural.
Yeah.
It's
It's
cultural.
cultural.
I had a friend in SS who had that thing had happened to her, and she was a Christian. She was a Catholic, just that she was from the northern region. So it's purely cultural. It's something that came from I don't know where, but it's not Islamic at all.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay. Right. With this veil, let me come back to the veil. Is it a must for every Muslim woman to be in a veil?
Yes.
When I was talking about who the woman behind the veil is, I said she's behind the veil not just for fashion or for fun, but as part of her faith, as part of the deen.
But we see other Muslim women who do not put on the veil.
It could be
Is that to suggest that they are not proper Muslims?
Oh.
let me get that from my teacher friend.
The thing is that if you are into something, you have to be in it 100%. Muslims are supposed to wear the veil. Doesn't matter your age. Most people think that the veil is for married women. No, it's for everybody. The veil is for everybody, whether young or old, whether married or unmarried. You're supposed to wear the veil. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That is what it's supposed to be. And this veil thing, it protects you yourself. You wearing the veil is a form of protection for you. So it's not something that you should say that I'm not wearing it. If you really believe in the religion, it's part of the tenets of the religion. So you should wear it. Most people don't wear it, yes, but it's not right. They are supposed to wear it.
So what happens to those who don't wear it?
What happens to you if you refuse to do follow the teachings of your faith? We leave you to the day you meet your creator.
That's one.
Exactly.
The judgment is the judgment
It's
day.
in
That
the hands
one.
of Allah, because
You know, I was thinking there are different types of Muslims. Maybe you are the Ahmadis, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there are other
Sects.
the other side or the other sects who probably not necessarily do not have to wear the veil.
No, not
Is
at
that it?
all. Not
Islam
at
is a
all.
one-brand religion. Even though we have about 73 sects, when we put a Sunni, a Wahhabi, a Tijaniya, a Shia, an Ahmadi here, and it's time for prayer, we all say the same thing. We all pray the same way. We all recite the same Quran. There's no difference. The difference in the teachings and in the interpretation of there are some schools of thoughts in the faith, but the basic tenets of Islam, the 5 pillars of Islam, is practiced by everybody. So there are some people who they are shocked when I tell them that in fact they are different sects, because to them we are all one. They don't see the difference, because we all fast in the same month of Ramadan. We all celebrate the Eid
Go to
al-Adha.
Hajj.
We all pray 5 times a day. We all go to Hajj. So this practice is the same. So it's not like there's a sect that do not wear veil. All the sects wear veil.
It's just like Christianity. There are sects. There's Pentecostal, there's Anglican, there's Roman. Everybody believes in Jesus Christ.
So and they are all supposed to wear the veil. We are all supposed to. Some people, for instance, Christians, you're all supposed to go to church. Some don't go. But
What
they
do you
are
do
they're
to
still
them?
Christian. What do you do to them? They are still Christians. And they don't go to church
do
on Sunday,
nothing.
but they call themselves Christians. It's the same thing. They are supposed to wear the veil. They don't wear. But they call
No,
themselves-
but this is an apparel you use to be identified
Friday,
with.
definitely.
You get it. But what I want to ask is, what in your state might have accounted for this? That there are some who ordinarily would not want to wear it. Why do I have to put it on in the first place?
I don't know if
Because
I
some
can
people will
answer that.
say religion is in
in
the
the
heart.
heart.
We don't do that.
If your religion is in the heart and you
physical.
are doing something against what you believe in, then it doesn't make sense. But personally, I started veiling seriously in 2012. I used to veil when I was going for religious programs. But later on, after reading extensively, after a lot of searching and soul searching as well, I realized that I was on the right course after I started veiling, because I was fulfilling a command by God that do this. Who am I to tell God that no, I don't feel fashionable when I'm in the veil? No. Besides, I feel more fashionable. And also, I realized that it was empowering me, because what I can't, if I can't take off my, if I'm to take off my veil, you wouldn't recognize me. So even if I'm to say something, if I'm to do something, the veil, I'll be identified as that was the lady in the veil. The lady in the veil said this, the lady in the veil said that. So yeah, the veil.
Just as she said. And we also said there's no compulsion in religion. You are supposed to what? Wear it. But some people don't. I getting it. So the thing is that we are supposed to wear it. It's supposed to be done.
Must.
It's a must. But human beings are different. For instance, when you are growing up and maybe your parents don't force you out, maybe you don't know the real reason why you should be wearing it. When you grow up, some people, because of peer pressure, they see friends not wearing, they don't see why they should wear.
I was about coming to that.
Yeah.
Is it that maybe you are born into the religion and you did not also, yes, once you are, it happens. Most religions, the children are born into it. I don't know why I'm supposed to read my Bible day in, day out.
Yes.
Or maybe the child does not know why, or the woman do not know why to put on the veil. Always.
As we are all, it could be a multiple of reasons. Peer pressure, lack of knowledge. As she said, she did a lot of research and came to the conclusion and no, this is what I should do. If you really understand Islam, if you understand that you are only here on earth, the only thing that you're here to do is to worship him and to serve him, Allah, your creator, and he has given you a command, he has given you a way he wants you to appear. Assuming the president comes to GBC and say, Rebekah, I want you to sit on this particular desk for me, what would happen? You'll be sitting. How much for the one who created the whole universe, giving you a simple basic command? If the understanding is not there, even if you beat that person, the person will not put the veil on. In fact, the person will become a rebel. But that's why we encourage people to read by themselves, people to do research by themselves and understand what they are doing. And if the understanding is there, nobody will force them to wear the veil. They'll put it on themselves.
Religious knowledge is very important here.
But are there types of veils? Do you have types?
Yes.
This is the fashion guru.
You are the fashion guru right here. So tell us about it.
Yes, there are a lot of types. In fact, not that much, but types of veil. We have the burqa, which is the most extreme type of veiling. It's you cover your hair to your feet. It's one big veil, and there is a thin curtain, like as Sarah Ahmad said, a thin curtain here for visibility. Like as you can see the person outside, but the person outside can't see you. And then we have the niqab, which we see most Afghanistan, Pakistani women doing. It's covered. You see just like their eyes. Yes, like the ninjas.
That is the word.
The fashionable ninjas. Yes, we have that one. We have the al-amira. It's something of like what I've done. And then we have what the hijab that we see almost every lady does. She takes her veil, throws it on, and then goes. And then we have the chador. The chador is the covering of the side like this. You cover your face round like that, yeah. So we have types of veil. You choose what you want to do personally.
But does the wearing of the veil mean that any maybe exposed part of the woman's body should be like, should cause sexual excitement and all of that? Because is it the long one where you cover all your face and all of, what did you say it is?
The burqa.
The burqa. With the burqa, sometimes because there was a woman in Medina and she was crossing the road. Fine, she had the burqa all over. She had only a small portion of her eyes showing, but you could see her arms were visible, her legs were visible.
That is not veiling. Veiling is not just a matter of covering the hair or the head. You cover the head to your bosom. You cover your hands to your elbow, or like up there or up to the wrist. You cover your feet. So it's not just the matter of hair. It's a complete.
Yeah, this is a complete dress that I'm talking about.
That's the burqa.
Yes, and I want to find out if maybe a part of your body is showing, just like my arms are showing now, and is that supposed to cause sexual excitement for men?
Yes, it does.
For men, if you interview them, they will tell you, even your voice can attract them and let them set them off to start thinking about different things.
Not
Seriously.
only men now, even we have these lesbianisms
Yeah.
going on.
Around.
So, but I've been working with this all the while, and
And you haven't attracted any man?
even when you are in your veil, you still attract men.
Yes, but we limit it.
Romance, aren't you
there's-
married?
there's-
How
I'm
did your husband see you and get to know that you are good material for?
Yes,
To
and
be
because
married.
of that, that's how come he didn't go standing behind the doors with me.
Oh, is that to suggest that those of us without veils, then
That's
will be
not
standing
to suggest,
behind?
but
yeah.
that is what we believe in.
Okay.
It's like it's part of the faith. You can't have it any other way. If it's like you're working in MTN and you're using Vodafone chip to talk, or you wear red and go and sit in front and put the Vodafone crest on, or the brand icon on your chair and go and sit there. It can happen. This is what is being done here, and this is the teachings, and you've agreed to it, you have accepted it, and you're doing it.
Okay.
Aside the benefits that you get. And besides, Rebecca, I don't think this veiling thing is limited to only Christians.
Only Muslims?
Only Muslims, yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thanks for the correction. Only Muslims. If I can remember, Rebecca in the Bible, I never saw her hair. She was very covered. I only saw her fingers, the hands. And
Where did you see Rebecca?
I saw her in the Bible movies and
The movies.
yes, and you know those Christian books when we were in class one,
bedtime stories.
the bedtime story, the pictures, they were all covered women.
These ones are fictional.
You said
It's fiction.
it's not fiction.
even-
That's the practice.
Okay.
And picture, stories don't go away. When you look at the mother of the Savior,
Yes.
she's covered. Hazrat Mary, the Virgin, is a covered woman. She's behind the veil. So what I'm doing is something that is known as, it's not like it's new. It's not like Muslim has suddenly invented the wearing of veil. It's something that was already there. It's something that Allah wanted it to be there, and He wants us to do it. So it's not just limited to Muslims. It's also, it finds its way in the Quran. And there's a part in, is it Corinthians 1 verses something? I'll try and get it. It says that if you cannot cover it, then cut off the hair. And say that your crown, the hair is your crown, glory, or
It is
something.
Corinthians,
So you
yeah.
have to cover it. So it's in the Bible.
That leads me to my next question. You know, in other religions, you know that the hair is a covering. Is it the same in the Islamic
The skin too is a covering, so don't wear any dress.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, we shouldn't wear any dress, or
Because you said the hair
hair
is a covering, so
then.
maybe we shouldn't put on the veil. It's already covering the head.
no, maybe that is a part of the reason why you have to put the veil on, so that you conceal it
Yes.
just for your husband.
Just as you cover your skin with clothes, cover your hair with a veil.
Yes, in the bosom.
You need to cover it.
When you say in the bosom,
The bosom.
Here. You know, some people, there are different types, because some scarf, they just put on the scarf, and the scarf covers the hair. So they feel like they've completed the veiling, but it should cover up the body, the upper body, cover your feet.
Quran chapter 24 verse 32 says it, that when you are veiling, you should cover, that is what we call perda. Cover your hair and the bosom. It states it categorically that the hair and the bosom.
so would the religion preclude women, maybe Muslim women, from taking up jobs that require that you should open up, like you should take off the veil? Maybe in the performance industry, maybe a police officer, a policewoman, you are not supposed to be in the veil and all that. There are certain type of jobs that require that you are not supposed to be in the veil. Would the religion preclude such women from taking up such jobs?
I would say yes and no. In that, if there's a way that you can put it on, yes. But for instance, if there's right now there's a law that no woman should put on veil. It is a law. It has to be followed. And since you need to work for sustenance, doesn't mean that because of that you will not work. I getting it. So where there's nothing can be done about it, I believe that you should be able to work. I get it. Where nothing can be done, it can be removed. But where you can do something about it, you should do something about it.
And besides, the police officer, they have their hats that they wear. Their hair is not bare.
And to add to what she said, in France, for instance, the women are not allowed to cover their faces, and even in public schools, you are not allowed to put on the veil. But she said it already, but I want to throw more light on it. If the work that I'm going to do is, if I can find another job that will give me the opportunity to veil, why should I go and do what won't allow me to practice my religion? I'm becoming a hypocrite because I believe in this and I'm doing this. Also, I don't see why my job should limit me, should tell me not to veil, because I'm using my brain and my hands if I have hands. I'm not using my veil to work. Not at all.
Yes. And they will tell you that if you are in a veil, you can't sit at the front desk.
Yeah, that is what I was.
When you go to Muslim countries,
maybe you work in a restaurant and something you need to like open up. Let's get, because already they want women to attract customers.
That's
sustain
exactly
them.
what we are saying.
Yeah.
It's as if you are using your body to sell. They are selling you. They are using you to sell. In that case, you are exploiting my beauty. You are exploiting me. Because you want me to be all out there so that when people see me, they will come and buy a drink or two. Why? Without my body, you cannot market whatever you are marketing. Like she said, if I have a choice between two jobs and one is limiting me by my veiling, I'll go to the other one. Even if that salary is lower than the other, I'll pick that one. Because, yes, my existence on earth is by the grace of Allah. And if I die, I'm going to meet him. There's a judgment day. I'm going to account for my deed. I'm not going to account for the kind of money that I made or the mansions that I built on earth. How I used my religion for the betterment of my life and the people around me. That is what I'm going to be judged on, and not the work that I'm doing.
This is why in the Muslim countries, most women don't work, because she would choose her religion over the money the meager money that she's getting.
Would you wish would you have wished that you were free from wearing the veil? Let me start with you, Mansoura.
Not at all.
If I have a problem with the question, you are free. It's as if you are in a bondage. Are you in a bondage?
I'm not in a bondage. Not at all. I feel liberated, very liberated, and I feel, as I said earlier, I feel more empowered, and I feel very beautiful, very graceful when I'm in the veil. I even realized that my walking changed when I started. Not at all.
Okay, Khadija, how do you feel when you wear the veil? Would you have wished that you are free from wearing the veil?
I never wish I'm free from it, because even wearing the veil makes you proud. Let's say, if we have a toffee, two toffees, I get in it, and one is wrapped and one is unwrapped, and both fall down. Which of them will you take? The wrapped one. Being in yes, that's what you take. So being in this shows that you are unique. It makes you unique. It makes you feel special. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel honored, feel respected. I get in it. So I will never wish that. No, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud wearing the veil.
Mrs. Wasim.
You know my answer already, my dear. You know my answer already. I know the peer pressure out there. It's not easy for other Muslim, like the young girls coming to put on veil. Some because of the lack of knowledge, others because of the perception, others because of the unnecessary questions that they get each time they put it on. But for me, I say, for you, I think that's your jihad. That is your strive. It's not easy being in the veil. Sometimes you get some unnecessary stares, and you come across to them as if you are uneducated, unless when you start opening your mouth to speak, then they go like, oh, okay, she can speak English, you know. For me, I laugh it off. I don't really. I see you as an ignorant person, because if you've been out there, you've learned a lot, you've read widely, you know that human beings or Muslims and Muslim women in particular are not limited by veiling. So it's not easy, but it's a strive. It's a strife.
But what do you make of the kind of word that we have here? Yes, with the veil.
I knew this
word.
would come up.
These are questions. These are street questions.
Yes, yes.
Well.
Because that is what the person sitting at home will be asking. So I need to put myself in their shoes.
Saudi that in Ghana.
In Saudi Arabia, they recorded 56.6 degrees Celsius of temperature, the highest temperature, and the women even went to the extreme of putting on the burqa,
The black one.
the black one with the thin
The
veil on it,
ninja,
the
my
ninja one. So you in Ghana experiencing 33 degrees Celsius, you are lucky. You are very lucky, and you should be practicing it more and encouraging them that even when it goes to 100, they should try and do it.
So if covering your hair and following the teachings of the Quran, Islam and the Quran, will let you meet your maker one day, and feeling hot and doing the right thing, and then unveiling, not veiling yourself, and then going to hell. Which one do you choose?
Which
Because
is much more hotter.
Yes, hell is hotter than
The sun that makes you feel.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Rebecca, lastly, you know, even in academia, the last day, after 3 years, 4 years of whatever, 10 years or 8 years of PhD or whatever, do you know what you wear?
I know, the gown.
It's burqa. It's big one, thick, black.
But for a moment.
For a moment. Why? After attaining the highest education, they didn't say wear a miniskirt and come. They didn't say wear your own clothing and come. They said, you've attained the highest education, we need to dress you specially for this day. And what did they do to the women? They make them wear their hats. They don't care about your Brazilian weave. They don't care about your veil. They said, put on the hat. And even when you're going to take your certificate, the men take off their hats, but the women, they don't. You're still covered. You covered your hair and you picked your certificate. What does that tell you? It tells you that what Islam is telling you about how you should appear is not wrong.
Great. Right, it is still Women's Voice. We're discussing the woman behind the veil with Mansoura, Rahmat, Wasim, and Khadija. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
We share the unique stories of women within our society.
I see you having a beautiful wedding, but after that wedding, I see you chewing cola nut and weeping because you can't have kids.
Experiences that touch lives.
Whatever He allows into your life is for a purpose. And whatever it is, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Imagine somebody who was a virgin, got married, and then the husband was infected and then gave it to him unknowingly.
We answer many questions every woman needs to know about their relationships, children, family life, and global events. Women's Voice, impacting the lives of women within our society, showing every day at 4 p.m. on GBC 24.
Welcome back to Women's Voice. Don't worry when you see me in this new look. My name now changes to Barikisu Awuah. We are discussing the woman behind the veil. And yes, I've been veiled like Mary was veiled. Wow.
You look beautiful.
Indeed, yes. Let's get to our social media platform, our WhatsApp platform. Let's get to know what people are also asking, what other questions they have, so that quickly we will wrap up. Okay. You know, this is my first time in being in the veil, so I'm not so comfortable, but I guess it won't. Right, this one says, do the women behind the veil have equal rights as their male counterparts? Do they?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Officially, women in general, we are all fighting for equal rights. But in the sight of Allah, He created us, He said He created us into male and female and tribes and sub-tribes, so that we can identify ourselves. In His sight, the most honorable, the most favored, the one that He is pleased with, is the one who is righteous. He didn't say a male or a female. It's a righteous person who is pleasing to Allah. So we are equal in that sense.
I would even say the woman is more prominent because the hadith says that paradise lies under the feet of the mother. So if you can find paradise under my feet and not under the man's feet, I am even better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one is coming from Mary. Mary in... Hey, Mary, no, you didn't tell us where you're sending this one, but this one is for Mary. Mary says, would you say that the moral standards of today's Muslim woman has derailed as compared to those of yesteryears? Let my teacher friend take that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say I wouldn't say that, because whatever problem that we had is still now. Even now, we even have more education. More this thing, but the problems is that it has not derailed in that it can be more people are becoming more. Some people are becoming more righteous. Others are also backsliding. So that one day it depends. It's a choice. Some people can decide to even learn now. Even now, there are more knowledge there. You can get more knowledge. I get it, but it depends on you, the person. Some are in the right path, others are not. So that one they depends.
And even it cuts across everywhere. People are declining and people are gaining. So it cuts across everywhere.
Okay. This one says, find out from them. Can a young woman assume the position of an imam in the mosque?
If there is no man. I'm a very young woman, by the way, but if there is no man in the mosque, then you can assume, you can lead women in prayers, but you can't lead a man. I know that in French, when I was doing French, if I'm right, when if there is one a country, my French teacher told me that if there is one man in the midst of women, they are all addressed as men. So if there is a man there, as the man is the head of family, you the woman can't lead the man in prayers.
Why? We are all equal before God.
We are, but when women with a natural cycle, there are some days that you can go to the mosque and days that you can't go to the mosque. So on those days that you can't go to the mosque, who leads? If you are the imam, days that say you are pregnant or you're just about to have a baby or you are having your baby, how will you lead the mosque? Or if you are in that time of the month, who leads the mosque then? So that is it.
Okay. Right. This one says, does being a woman behind the veil limit your God-given talent? And let me take at least 2 or 3 of them so that we touch on them quickly. This one says, does being a woman behind the veil limit your God-given talent? And this one too is coming from this one is coming from Isa in Navrongo. Wow, you're watching us all the way in Navrongo. In what are some of the social cultural practices when eliminated, especially those that affect Islamic women, will help? Social cultural practices and the one that's, are you limited? When you are behind the veil, your God-given talents, are they limited?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. When we Ahmadis, for instance, when we go for our women conferences, we meet, we have a national yearly conferences. When we go there, it's the woman that sings. She has a God-given talent to sing. She has a nice voice to recite the Quran. She recites it amongst women, and then we all enjoy it. So no, not at all.
We do plays.
We do plays. We do drama. We have we do a lot of things. We do sports amongst ourselves. It doesn't limit us in any way. Not at all. We are not limited.
Okay. And how about the social cultural practices you think should be eliminated? Yeah.
For instance, we talked about the female genital mutilation. It is assumed that it is part of the religion, but it is not. And these things are not helping. So I believe if it is eliminated, it will help a lot. But it's not helping at all.
And also that fear of people not sending their female child to school or encouraging them to go above a certain level they should also look at that and should encourage them more to send them to school.
People's perceptions about us should change. People should learn more about Islam and not just take something that they heard from somebody as what it is. They should learn more about us and then
Bro.
I'm really suffering with this thing.
I can tell.
Let's see.
It's actually, you can do the
try.
shadow, just do this and then throw it on.
Put it on so well that I'll feel very comfortable.
Cover the bosom, cover the good.
This is about it. I cover my bosom, as you put it.
You look like a bride.
Ah, I will be a bride. Okay, so let's touch on this one also quickly. This one is coming from Amma. Amma says, really, I'm really loving this show. I didn't know much about the Islamic religion, but these ladies have really taught me a lot today. But oftentimes, women behind the veil are blamed for concurring to polygamous marriages. Is this assertion justified?
Not at all.
How do you mean by concurring? Polygamy is part of Islam.
Well, maybe you second it. You want your husbands to take other women.
Yes.
Because maybe in the Ghanaian society, they think one man, one woman.
Oh, in the traditional religion, even chiefs, some people can marry 8, 9, 10 wives before, and those ones too are there, so we can't know. We can't.
And you should know that Islam, it's actually empowering the women because it's the only religion that you can marry someone's husband.
That's the only religion you can
marry someone's husband.
You don't.
And how is that empowering women?
If look at the ratio of women to men in our society, not just in Ghana, everywhere. So if my sister has a husband, my other brother, a friend of my sister has a husband, and I don't have a husband, I can marry her husband. Yes.
And you feel that is empowering the woman enough?
It is, because
you see, if you look at it on the individual level, you have a lot of problems with polygamy. At the individual level, depending on the kind of persons involved, how the man will bring the second woman in, that is what makes it all not interesting, and the attitude of the second person coming in. But there are rules and regulations backing polygamy.
Yeah.
You cannot just get up and say you are marrying. There should be reasons, and there should be concern that, okay, I support what you're going to do. Besides, it's even in the Bible. Was it Abraham's wife, Sarah, who encouraged the husband to marry Hajar, to bore Ishmael? It happens in the Bible. Suleiman, or you call Solomon, had a lot of wives.
Yeah.
So it's not limited to only Islam.
Right. So in wrapping up, in your views, individually, would you say that education will be a form of liberation for the Muslim woman, or so that it develops the Muslim woman in its totality? Mansoura, you are right ahead of me.
Yes.
Give me your take.
Education is an important key in the development of a Muslim woman. Not just our secular education, but our religious education as well, because it brings you up morally. Whatever it is, you need religious education and secular education to boost you up. And there are a lot of big women in the world now who are Muslims, so it does.
My teacher friend, I call her Khadija.
Yes, just as she has said, education is very, very important in everybody's life, especially the Muslim woman, because through education, you will learn a lot of things. And here, we're talking about the religious and the secular as well. Most people concentrate mostly on the secular and then they forget about the religious aspects, but it's the combination. Take both and then it will take you far.
Great. Is education the key to liberation and development for the woman behind the veil?
In Islam stresses on both the physical and the spiritual. So just as they said, you cannot acquire the physical or the secular one and leave the spiritual one. That's everywhere you see the Muslim woman, the veil is on. Whether she's in the classroom or you find her in an office, she's practicing what is happening on earth. At the same time, she's also practicing her deen. So an education will liberate them, because you'll be able to read the Quran by yourself. You get to understand what the Quran and the Hadith are saying to you. So if someone comes and tell you that I'm not sending you to school because this is what the Quran is telling you, you've already read it yourself and you understand it.
What it's saying.
You know what you are doing, what you are about. So education is key, and Islam supports education for women. I need to stress this. It says in the hadith that even if it's as far as from Saudi to China, send your child to school. He did not say send the girl child or send the boy child. Send the child to school. And education is from cradle to death, to grave. So till you die, you should learn. So Islam doesn't stop the woman from pursuing what he has, what is there for him.
The first Muslim school, the Aisha Academy, was founded by Hazrat Aisha, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife. So
yes,
yeah. It's a woman who founded the first Muslim school. A woman, which means we believe in
education.
The Holy Prophet himself even
said
said that you can learn half of my religion from Hazrat Aisha. So
who's a woman?
Islam is totally in support of educating the girl child.
Wow. Great to have you all. Look, don't take offense if I am not well dressed in the veil.
You look good.
How is this called?
This is, I would say, this is the chador because it's just the thick.
The chador. Please, just forgive me. Just forgive me if I'm not well dressed in it, but I had to change my name to Barikisu now. This has been Women's Voice. We have been discussing the woman behind the veil, and I have been doing this with Mrs. Rahmat Wasim, a qualified accountant, an entrepreneur, and managing director of Rami Consult and Advocates for Women. And Mansoura Osekwesi is with the Ahmadiyya Information Management Systems Ghana, AIMS for short, and Khadija Dankwa is a teacher and an assistant director too at the Ghana Education Service. I'm so grateful that you were able to come.
We're glad to be here.
We will see you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
This is Women's Voice, articulating issues affecting women and telling the unique stories of women in our society.